so welcome back to another episode by Aaron Fu Academy. So I'm Aaron. I'm hoping to through this series I can be able to share Vedic knowledge and astrology to you all. So in this episode, I've been thinking of how to show you guys and let you guys try it out for yourself. And I've been thinking how I can make you see for yourself the powerful Vedic astrology and how to apply that. So I've been thinking hard about how to make it practical and how to see results in your application in the most neutral way. And I finally got an enlightenment. I finally settled on this one. So if I understand that if something good was to happen to you in almost in a short period of time, you will be able to acknowledge and accept that this knowledge is able to help you. So I am going to share a part of this vast knowledge in particularly in on how you can determine what is a great time for you to pursue whatever you want in your life. So I know you all come from all walks of life, and by achieving what you set out to do for the day, like through this knowledge, I could actually rouse some level of interest in this art. And you guys can always learn more from this series I've created called Let's Learn Verdict Together. So in fact, you can use this art to arrange for important meetings, events, you pick important dates, or you can arrange when to sign crucial contracts, for example, and you can do a lot more things with this knowledge. So remember that this is all done for free. I'm doing this sharing of knowledge for free. So if you wish to donate, you have my PayPal account in the description below. But before you continue watching this video, you need to be accepting a few conditions that you are to firstly use this art for your own good only, and only if you do not bring harm to others or other people while using this art in any way and also in the process. So some will use this knowledge that I'm about to share for gambling and cheating, and I feel that gambling is like you are buying something or you are putting in money for something so that if you win, some other people will lose. So this is indirectly harming other people. So I do not advocate this, or I do not advocate gambling. So I have to put the disclaimer here first, because I have to be clear here, so that I use this part of this knowledge. My sole purpose is to introduce this art to you, and is only for this sole purpose. So whatever you do with this knowledge will be on you, right? So I have talked before about karma and inflexible karma in my other videos. So this is something that you need to consider, and please do a donation to a charity if you do indeed use this for like, let's say, arrange a date for an important meeting or anything outside of Gacha Games. Why Gacha Games? Because I picked this in relation to what is practical and yet is neutral, is harmless. So on top of this aforementioned condition, you will also need to understand that this application of knowledge is not for every other unimportant thing that's happening in your life. You are not able to use this knowledge to actually find things like where I find a parking lot in this busy shopping mall. This kind of unimportant things is not for this kind of use. So you can ask things like, will my team be winning? All this actually requires a very clear purpose for it to work. So I will be showing you all on this. I have come up with this a very harmless application of this knowledge. Why I say harmless? Because it does not bring any harm to any people. I am going to use it on my gacha mobile game in Genshin Impact. So because I feel that this is very practical, a lot of millions of people are actually playing Genshin now, and the word gacha, if you are new to it, is created in Japan to describe mobile games that actually incorporate certain elements of risk to attain in-game items or characters. So there is a certain level of risk of not getting the characters that you want. So I am going to use this knowledge to tackle this issue of the risk of not getting anything that you actually want and you are actually paying for this. So applying this simple checklist that I'm going to show with you will actually allow you to save some money, because you will be identifying your gacha luck, whether you have any luck in doing gacha. And if you are not getting actually good gambling or good gacha luck, why should you even be wasting money and spending it on gacha? And also applying this will get you to identify certain periods in time or certain periods in a year or in a month that you can actually use to perform this gacha. So during this period, you will get heightened luck, you will get greater luck, you'll be supported by this greater luck, and you will save tons of money instead of throwing money into the gacha river mindlessly, which I have seen several famous YouTubers actually throwing thousands of dollars and not getting what he actually wants. So in my opinion, whether you get a hero or a weapon in Genshin or not, in a single player game like Genshin, it does not harm anyone. So I can actually help you and apply this knowledge, and this is actually a perfect platform to showcase, because you get a 5-star hero, it doesn't mean someone else will actually lose out in the game. It does not do that. So I find this a very neutral platform, and I'm actually quite looking forward to it. So to make it clear, as we know, gacha system is about in Genshin especially, is about PT, the soft PT, and they are all clear-cut numbers, so we can actually use math to calculate this. What we will try to override or control here by using our luck is the 50-50 PT system. So if you actually know, when we reach 75, that starts the soft PT, and when it's 90, you are confirmed to get a 5-star character. And in any banner, this 50-50 is the one that we are trying to overcome, because 90 rolls, that's 90 pulls is a lot of money, and sometimes we get the 5-star that we do not want. So we have to choose the right period of time to see whether we can make use of this greater luck to actually get that 50-50 to be the hero that we want. So applying this knowledge does not actually say allow you to get a 5 stars in the first 10 pulls. It doesn't work like that. This is not what we're trying, because all these are mathematical numbers in the system, and these are not just purely, or the amount of impact is not purely due to luck. Okay, so if this does work for you like it did for me in terms of a 50-50, and I get the hero I wanted, you can always make a donation below in my PayPal link in the description below. Also, you can subscribe and share this video so that you can help your friends as well. So with this, let's get started. So as a first thing, because some of you might be new to Verdict, I'm not going to touch on what everything is about in a chart, that kind of thing. So because there is too much, and I have that covered in the Let's Learn Verdict Together series, so you can check it out in your own time. But now let's tackle the gacha luck issue. So we are first going to look at your verdict chart, that means your natal chart, based on your birthday and your birth time and the location you are born, to see if your own chart, verdict chart, is able to support this gacha luck, this gambling luck that we are talking about. So how are we going to see this? So you will need to go to a site with free verdict astrology calculator. You can just simply Google a verdict calculator, and you key in your date of birth, your time of birth, and your location of your birth. So once you get to a chart, it will look something like this. And so from here, listen closely to what I have to say. Okay, so in here, what you are actually looking at is your natal chart. This is your birth chart. So I will not go into detail what this is all about, but what you need to look at here to determine whether you have the gacha luck or the gambling luck, you look to the 5th house on your chart. Just ignore this part if you don't understand, but it's this triangle that we are looking at here. Okay, so this is your 5th house. So look here, and you can go through this list that I provide in the link below. What you are checking here is the strength of your 5th house, the strength of this triangle, if it is strong or if it is weak. So if it's strong, what does it say? If it's strong, you are able, or your chart actually support actually quite good luck for gambling for getting the things that you want, an easy gain kind of thing. So if it's weak, then you just don't hold quite high hopes for things like you know, quick gains or quick money. It's better that you actually work hard and you know, go through all the things that you need to do, be responsible. Okay, so this is what it means. We are checking for the strength of this highlighted green triangle. Okay guys, just bear with me, right? Because what I'm going to explain to you actually requires some basic, but I'm going to make it as simple as I can. So please bear with me. I'll go through it as quickly as I can with those that with information that is only vital to check whether you have the gacha luck for your gacha games. Okay, so just to take note, there are a few things that we will need to look at, and this is one of it. So this is one of the numbers that we need to take note. If you look at all this at this chart, this may seem like so alien to you, but all of these triangles or rhombus here, we always have a number. If you take note, this is number 5, the next one will be 6. It's always going like, you know, anti-clockwise over here. Then after 6 you have 7 over here, and then this is 8, and then this is 9, so on and so forth. Okay, so this is something that you need to take note, because we are going to base a lot of this analysis based on this number here. Okay, so next up, we need to be aware of how the houses or these areas that we are going to look at. In all cases, this is the house number 1. In all charts, it's the same. This is the house number 2. This is house number 3, 4. Just take note of this. If you want, you can just record it down, or you can just revisit this video again, because I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. And we need this to decide whether we have the gacha luck. And as we finish, there's 12 areas in this natal chart that I have just numbered. So this one is always the number 1, and then we always go, you know, anti-clockwise to number 2, and then number 3, and then number 4, 5, 6, and so on and so forth. Okay, this number will not change. Okay, this number 1 here is always number 1 here. Number 2 here is always number 2. So the next thing is, after we talk about this earlier number that I was telling you about, this number will change depending on your date and time of birth. Okay, so everyone, like let's say in this triangle, which we will pay a lot of attention to, this number, everyone will have a different number. But don't worry, I have a list created in the link below for you to download, just to use to refer to that list and see what it all means. Later I will teach you how to use it. So if you see a number 8 here for this chart, in another chart it will be a different number. So this number will be changed, and this will be personalized to your chart, what this number is. So later I'll teach you how to go ahead to read this. Okay, so with that, I think that will be sufficient for us to proceed to the 5 checks that we need to do to see if you have that gacha luck in your chart. Okay, so let's look at this triangle. Like just now I mentioned earlier, this triangle here is the triangle, or we call it the house, that is important to identify what kind of do you have that luck to do gacha, to do easy gains. You know, easy gains like, you know, if you do gambling, if you do speculation, this is the house that we will pay most attention to. Of course, there are other contribution to determine if you if your life can enjoy easy money and things like that. But for this gacha purpose, we will just look at this, which we call this the 5th house. If you remember, this is the 5th house. all these numbers will not change, remember. So this is the 5th house. Okay, so we are interested in number 5. Okay, and then later I will show you that we are also interested in 8, 9, and 11. Okay, so this few houses we will also be interested. So far, so far okay. I hope it is clear, and I am speaking rather slowly just so that you can absorb. But don't worry, this video you can revisit this just for your clarification. Okay, so without further ado, I will dive into this checklist. We will have 5 checks, and you see if you tick or you cross it. Okay, I will go to the first check. Okay, once you have this chart ready for your own, we will go to the first check, and I will use this chart that I have here as an example. So the first thing you need to check for this checklist, you have to look at the 5th house, which is this triangle here. Okay, this triangle is important. So what we have to look at in this 5th house is this. We are checking the strength of this 5th house. So the first thing to check is we have to look at who is the ruler, which planet is the ruler of the 5th house. So in that list that I provide, if you can, you open this up. Okay, first thing you need to see is this number here. So in this example, we have number 8. Okay, so far so good, everyone is following. We have number 8 here. So number 8, if you look at the rulership column, we see Mars. Okay, this is for number 8. So whatever number you have here, you look at the rulership column, and we check for that planet. What planet is there? So if you see Saturn, let's say this one, we have 10 here. 10 rulership is Saturn. Okay, so back to this example, rulership is Mars. So if you see Mars in this house, that means you see a MA or you see MARS, Mars is within this segment here, this triangle here, you give this first check a tick. Okay, so far so good. So if you see a 10, if you have a 10 here, and that is Saturn, and so you will need to see if Saturn is sitting right here in the 5th house. If so, you give it a tick. If no, you just cross it out, and we move on to the next check. So in this next check, what we are going to look out for is, let me just erase this. Okay, in this next check, what we are going to look out for is we have to see if there is an exalted planet sitting right here in this triangle, which is the 5th house. So exalted planet, how do we actually see the exalted planet? Oh, you can refer to that same list. I have listed it there, how you actually see if there is an exalted planet. So I give you an example. If this number is a 12, that means this constellation in this house is actually Pisces. And with that, if Venus is sitting in here, Venus is an exalted planet. Venus is exalted in number 12. Okay, so if we have a number 12 here, Venus is sitting here, you give this second check a tick. Okay, so far this is the second check. So next we will look at the third one. You can refer to the list. I have made it very clear in the list what planets are exalted in which number. Okay, this number is very crucial. Everything that we're going to look at will be determined by this number. Okay, next in the third check, we are going to check if the ruler of the 5th house is in the 8th, 9, or 11th house. Okay, so ruler of the 5th, like back to this example here, we are looking at number 8, right? And as I mentioned earlier, the ruler of number 8, you look at the list, ruler is Mars. Okay, So if we see that actually Mars is not sitting here, you see, as per this example, Mars is not sitting here. We need to look if Mars is actually here in the 8th house, or Mars is actually here in the 9th house, or Mars is sitting here in the 11th house. So if you do see Mars in all these areas here, for this example, you give it a tick. If not, you just give it a cross. So in this example, is Mars in here? No, it's not. Okay, Mars is not in any of these 3 houses as well. In fact, Mars is in the 3rd house here. So I will give this check, this 3rd check across. Okay, simple as that. So if we are okay, we will move on to the 4th check. You can pause it here anytime or revisit this video if you are not clear. We are trying to find out if you have the gacha luck for your gacha games. Okay, so in the next check, which is the 4th check, we are going to check if the ruler of the 5th house, is this ruler in his own sign, and is the ruler exalted, or is the ruler in Mulatrikona degrees. Okay, this sounds complicated, but I will just guide you through with this example that we have here. So back to this, we have number 8. So number 8, the ruler is actually Mars. If you refer to the list, everything you can check from the list. So you can check if Mars is actually in the own sign. So what we are going to do here is we will check if Mars is exalted, or is Mars in Mulatrikona degrees. So if you don't know what this Mulatrikona degrees is, or if you want more information, you can always watch my video on planetary strengths to find out the exact degrees, but I will include it in the list so you can actually just refer to it very easily. Okay, so this is the 4th check. If Mars is actually in the 5th house, and for this example, the ruler is in his own sign, or is the ruler exalted, or the ruler in Mulatrikona, you give this 4th check a tick. Okay, so next, finally, we come to the 5th check. This check is we are going to check if the rulers of the houses of 8, 9, and 11 in the 5th house. So again, we are looking at all these numbers here. Okay, you see 11, 12. In this example, this is 2, 11, 12, and 2. So if you refer to that list, simple, we just got to check on the rulership. So if we take 11, we can actually check, we can actually see that the rulership is Saturn. And if Saturn is sitting here, we give the 5th check a tick. Okay, this is 12, and we know the ruler is actually Jupiter. So if Jupiter is sitting here, we give this 5th check a tick. Okay, so in the end, we are going to count how many ticks we actually have, and that will show us the strength of our luck in terms of gacha, in terms of easy gains, and whether our life we actually have a natal chart that actually helps us or support us in this gacha luck, in this easy gains luck. Okay, so next up we will actually look at when should we gacha. Okay, when should we actually, what every day we have a timing that is going to be helpful for us to that will be the luckiest for us, and that will actually bring up our fortune luck, and that is the time that we are going to look at to perform our pulls. Okay, when we pulls for our favorite heroes, so that is that period where we actually get what we want. So I think I will cover that in the next episode. So just stay tuned, you subscribe and you share this video. Appreciate all this support, and I will see you in the next episode to look at when we should gacha within a day. Okay, see you, take care, bye bye.